Have you ever wondered what would happen if men got pregnant instead of women? Now, there's a thought to stir your imagination. Let's dive into this intriguing concept, where the usual roles of nature are flipped and men are the ones carrying the baby. Imagine for a moment the current reality of pregnancy. It's women who bear the physical burden of growing a new life inside them. The gentle swell of the belly, the flutter of first movements, the intense yet rewarding process of childbirth. But what if this wasn't so? What if it was men who took on this incredible responsibility? This might sound like the plot of a science fiction novel, but it's a thought experiment that can lead us to fascinating discussions about biology, society, and emotion. Imagine a world where it is men who experience morning sickness, hormonal changes, and the joy of feeling a baby kick for the first time. Scene script. Let's delve into the biological aspects of this hypothetical scenario. Picture this. A man becoming pregnant. It's not something we see every day or, truth be told, ever, but if it were to happen, what would be the biological implications? Well, the male body would have to undergo some drastic transformations to accommodate the growth of a fetus. Firstly, let's talk about the skeletal system. To carry a pregnancy, the male pelvis would need to widen. Currently, a man's pelvic structure is more compact and narrow, designed for mobility and stability. To accommodate a growing fetus, it would have to expand, becoming broader and more circular like that of a woman. This process would likely be quite uncomfortable, to say the least. Next up, we have the cardiovascular system. During pregnancy, a woman's blood volume increases by approximately 50% to supply the growing fetus with nutrients. For a man to sustain a pregnancy, his heart would need to pump this extra volume, causing an increase in heart rate and blood pressure. Of course, we cannot forget about the endocrine system. The production of pregnancy hormones such as progesterone and human chorionic gonadotropin, currently non-existent in the male body, would need to kick into high gear. These hormones are crucial for maintaining pregnancy and preparing the body for birth. Then there's the issue of where the fetus would grow. In women, the uterus provides a safe and nurturing environment for the fetus. Men, however, do not have a uterus, so a new organ would have to be introduced. A significant physiological change indeed. And finally, the male body would need to develop a means for the baby to exit after gestation. This would require the creation of a birth canal, a feature that men currently do not possess. In conclusion, for a man to become pregnant, his body would have to change in ways that are, quite frankly, beyond our current comprehension. It's not just a matter of swapping roles, it's a complete biological overhaul. The male body as we know it would have to undergo some significant changes to support a pregnancy. Now that we've explored the biological side of things, let's consider the social implications. Imagine a world where the societal roles of men and women have flipped. Men are the ones who carry children, and women are no longer the primary caregivers. This is a world where men would experience the joys and pains of pregnancy, from the first flutter of movement to the physical strains of carrying a child. It's a world that would demand a whole new perspective on gender roles and family dynamics. In this alternate reality, men would be expected to take time off work for maternity leave. The traditional expectations of the male breadwinner would be challenged, potentially leading to a significant shift in the workforce. With men at home nurturing the next generation, the corporate ladder might see more women rising to top positions, shattering the glass ceiling once and for all. The family unit would also undergo a significant transformation. The division of household duties would likely be renegotiated, with men taking on more responsibilities at home. This could lead to a more equitable distribution of domestic tasks, challenging the age-old stereotype of women as the primary homemakers. Moreover, this shift would also impact the way society perceives masculinity. The notion of the strong, unfeeling male would need to be reevaluated. Men would be encouraged to be more in touch with their emotions, nurturing their children from conception itself. This could lead to a more emotionally expressive society, breaking down the barriers of traditional masculinity. But let's not forget the women. With men carrying the children, women may find themselves with more freedom to pursue their ambitions without the physical constraints of pregnancy. However, they would also need to navigate a society where they are no longer seen as the primary caregivers. potentially leading to a redefinition of femininity. In this new world, the dynamics of relationships would be fundamentally altered. The traditional roles of men and women would be challenged, potentially leading to more equal partnerships. The traditional roles of men and women would potentially see a dramatic shift. Let's not forget the emotional toll of pregnancy. As we delve into this aspect, it's important to note that the emotional journey of pregnancy is as varied and individual as the people experiencing it. So imagine a man embarking on this emotional voyage. Just like women, men would potentially experience a broad spectrum of feelings, from elation and joy at the prospect of bringing a new life into the world, to anxiety and fear about the immense responsibility that accompanies parenthood. This emotional roller coaster could be further amplified by hormonal changes. Yes, men would also be subject to the whims of hormones during pregnancy. Just like women, they might find themselves suddenly teary-eyed at a heartwarming commercial or inexplicably irritable due to the fluctuating levels of hormones. And then there's the anticipation, the waiting game, counting days till the arrival of the little one. That part would be no different for men. The anticipation could stir up a mix of emotions, excitement, impatience, apprehension, you name it. It's also worth mentioning the potential for empathy and understanding that could blossom from this experience. A man who has gone through the emotional journey of pregnancy might develop a deeper understanding of what women have traditionally experienced. This could lead to a more empathetic society where the emotional toll of pregnancy is better understood and supported. But let's not forget the potential negative emotions that could surface. Fear of the unknown, anxiety about the physical changes, worry over the potential risks and complications. These are all emotions that women have grappled with for centuries, and men, in this scenario, would not be exempt. In essence, the emotional journey of pregnancy is a complex tapestry of highs and lows, of joy and fear, of anticipation and uncertainty. It's a transformative period that leaves an indelible mark on the individual. Men, just like women, would likely experience a roller coaster of emotions during pregnancy. And perhaps in this alternate reality, we would all gain a deeper understanding and appreciation for the emotional depth and resilience it requires to bring a new life into this world. So, what would happen if men got pregnant instead of women? This question has been the centerpiece of our discourse, and we've journeyed through various perspectives to explore this fascinating possibility. We started off by delving into the unthinkable, the sheer concept of men carrying a child. This is a notion that, for most of us, is beyond our comprehension, mainly because it flips the script on one of the most fundamental aspects of life as we know it. From a biological standpoint, we've established that this scenario would necessitate significant changes. Men's bodies are not designed for pregnancy, lacking the necessary reproductive organs like the uterus. They would need to undergo substantial physiological alterations to support the growth and development of a fetus. The body's structure, hormonal balance, and even the immune system would have to adapt in ways that are currently beyond the reach of modern science. When we shifted our attention to the social implications, we found an equally complex landscape. The roles and responsibilities that society traditionally assigns to men and women would be challenged and redefined. Men would have to adapt to the physical and emotional demands of pregnancy, childbirth, and early parenthood. This could potentially lead to a shift in societal norms and expectations around gender roles, work-life balance, and family dynamics. We also examined the emotional impact of men being pregnant. Just as women experience a wave of emotions during pregnancy, so would men. The joy, fear, anticipation, and anxiety that come with pregnancy would be felt by men. They would need to navigate these emotions while also grappling with the physical changes their bodies would be undergoing. In essence, if men were to get pregnant instead of women, it would not just be a biological marvel, but a social and emotional revolution. It would demand a rethinking of established norms and a reframing of our understanding of parenthood, gender, and society. Yet, as we've seen, this scenario is far from straightforward. It's riddled with complexities and challenges that extend beyond the realm of biology to encompass societal norms, emotional well-being, and even our understanding of identity. While it's an intriguing thought, The reality of men being pregnant is far from our current understanding of biology and society. But who knows what the future holds? After all, the human species has proven time and again its capacity for growth, adaptation, and change. Whether or not we'll ever see a world where men can become pregnant remains a question for the future. But for now, it remains a fascinating thought experiment, a testament to the boundless curiosity and imagination of the human mind.